I am TJ, joined by Diana. This is Bureau of Prisons Watchers for Monday, June 22nd, 2026.
Good to be here. We have a packed show today, and some of it is going to sting a little.
It is. We are covering 4 stories, and every single one directly affects release dates, re-entry, and how families plan their lives.
So if you have a loved one in federal prison right now, please stay with us through all 4. This matters.
We start with a report from the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, published February 11, 2026. Report number GAO 2610753.
And for anyone who does not know, the GAO is the independent audit arm of Congress. These are not advocates or activists, they are federal auditors.
Right. And what they found is that the Bureau of Prisons is routinely failing to transfer eligible people to halfway houses on time.
Routinely, not occasionally, not in rare cases, routinely.
And they base that finding on the Bureau of Prisons' own data. The agency is not even disputing the numbers.
That is what gets me. This is not outside critics saying the system is broken. This is the government looking at its own records and saying, yes, we are failing.
The GAO found that late transfers cost taxpayers money because federal prison beds cost significantly more per day than halfway house placements.
So it is not just harmful to the person sitting in a prison cell longer than they should be. It is literally a waste of public money.
And the harm to reentry is real. Every day someone spends in a federal institution past their transfer date is a day they are not rebuilding relationships, finding work, or reconnecting with family.
And families are supposed to just accept that. They have been counting down days, making plans, and then the transfer just does not happen.
That is exactly what this report documents. So what does this mean for someone in federal prison right now?
It means you need to be paying close attention to your halfway house referral date, and your case manager needs to be on record about the timeline.
If your expected halfway house date is approaching and you have not seen paperwork moving, that is the moment to ask questions in writing, not out loud at a unit team meeting.
Written requests, written responses, that paper trail matters if you ever need to escalate or if an attorney needs to get involved.
Attorneys and advocates, this GAO report is now a documented, citable federal finding. You can reference report GAO 2610753 when pushing for timely transfers.
That is a tool. Use it.
Now we move to story 2, and this one is going to be hard for a lot of families to hear. We need to talk about a Fourth Circuit ruling on FSA earned time credits.
This was published in Prison Legal News, April 2026, page 32. Writer Chuck Sharman covered it, and the ruling is stark.
The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that if a federal prisoner has any single disqualifying offense on their record, they are ineligible for all FSA earned time credits.
Wait, all of them? Not just credits tied to that specific offense?
All of them. Every day of earned time credits wiped out. The court said it will not separate out parts of a combined sentence to apply FSA credits selectively.
That is wild. So someone could have participated in programs for years, earned hundreds of days of credit, and then lose all of it because of one conviction on their record.
That is exactly what this ruling means in practice. The underlying legal issue is about how the First Step Act defines disqualifying offenses under 18 U.S.C.
And the Fourth Circuit came down hard. Federal courts will not disaggregate a combined sentence to give partial credit.
This ruling applies to prisoners housed in federal institutions within the Fourth Circuit that covers Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina.
But other circuits are watching, and litigation is happening across the country on similar questions. This is not contained.
If you are in the Fourth Circuit and you have any prior or current conviction that could be considered a disqualifying offense, you need to know your status right now.
And honestly, the confusion around FSA credit calculations is already a crisis. This ruling makes it worse. Courts are being flooded with these cases.
Because the Bureau of Prisons has not resolved these questions internally, people are forced into federal court to get answers that should have been given at the institution level.
Which is not fair to anyone. Not to families, not to attorneys, and frankly, not to the courts either.
If your loved one is unsure whether a disqualifying offense affects their FSA credits, that question needs to go to an attorney who knows federal sentencing law. This is not a case manager conversation.
Right. This is legal territory now.
Before we continue, a quick word from our sponsor. If you or someone you love is dealing with a life insurance or annuity question, Policy Prepper is the resource you need. Plain English, no sales pressure, just real information at policyprepper.com.
Seriously, check it out, policyprepper.com. Now back to the news.
All right, story 3. And we actually get to deliver some good news here. The Bureau of Prisons says it has tripled its output of federal release identification cards as of February 2026.
Tripled. That is not a small improvement. What changed?
The Bureau of Prisons says increased staffing at its central production facility is what drove the output increase.
So there is actually a central facility that makes these cards. It is not done at each individual prison.
Exactly. And the backlog that used to exist at that facility has apparently been cleared. Every institution can now submit ID requests immediately.
Okay, that is genuinely good. Because the release ID card situation has been a real problem. People walk out of federal prison without valid identification, and then they cannot do anything.
Cannot open a bank account, cannot rent an apartment, cannot get a job, cannot access benefits. The ID card is not a nice to have. It is essential for re-entry to work.
So what does a family need to know here? What should they actually be doing with this information?
First, know that the responsibility for submitting the ID request falls on institution staff, specifically the case manager or unit team at the facility.
So if someone is approaching their release date and no one has mentioned an ID card, that is a problem that needs to be raised immediately.
In writing, ask your case manager in writing, has my release ID card request been submitted? What is the status?
And if you are a family member on the outside, you can ask your loved one to send you confirmation of that request. Put it in a letter or an email.
The system is faster now, but faster only helps if someone actually submits the request. Do not assume it is being handled automatically.
Assume nothing, verify everything. That is basically the motto of this show.
It really is. All right, story 4. And this one connects to everything else we have talked about today.
The Office of Inspector General, the OIG, released a report in May 2026, and it is not good.
The Department of Justice OIG found that the Bureau of Prisons has not fully implemented First Step Act programs at its institutions, despite receiving dedicated funding for exactly that purpose.
Hold on. So Congress gave the Bureau of Prisons money specifically to run these programs, and the programs are still not fully running?
That is what the OIG found. The funding was there, the mandate was there. The programs are not fully there.
And this directly affects earned time credits, because you can only earn FSA credits for participating in approved programs and productive activities.
If the programs are not available at your institution, you cannot earn the credits. And if you cannot earn the credits, your release date does not move.
So the system is set up to promise people earlier release through programming, and then the Bureau of Prisons does not actually deliver the programming. That is a broken promise.
The OIG report is a formal documented finding. It is not an opinion. The agency received money and did not fully deliver what it was funded to do.
What does this mean for someone sitting in a federal prison right now who has been trying to participate in programs and cannot get a seat?
It means the problem you are experiencing is real. It is documented at the federal watchdog level, and you are not alone in dealing with it.
It also means there is now a paper trail that attorneys can use. If someone was denied access to programming that should have been available, that is worth exploring legally.
Document everything. If you requested a program and were waitlisted or told it was not available, write that down with dates and submit a written request through your unit team.
And keep a copy of every response or non-response. Non-responses are also documentation.
The OIG report title begins with Report on the Federal Bureau of Prisons' Use of First Step Act Funding and the Implementation of First Step Act Programs at its and it was released May 2026.
Attorneys can pull the full report. It is a public document. This is the kind of thing that moves cases.
Let us bring today together 4 stories, all connected. The Bureau of Prisons is late on halfway house transfers. A major court ruling is wiping out FSA credits for some prisoners.
Release ID cards are finally moving faster, but only if staff actually submit the request. And First Step Act programs are still not fully running despite federal funding.
The through line in all of this is the same thing we say every week. The system will not advocate for your loved one. Someone has to.
And that someone is usually a family member, an attorney, or an advocate who knows what to ask for and how to ask for it in writing.
If you are unsure about FSA credits or disqualifying offenses or release timelines, please do not guess. These are high-stakes calculations.
Get real information, not rumors on the unit, not what someone else heard from their case manager 2 years ago.
If you need help calculating FSA credits, release dates, or RDAP timelines, visit FSA4U.com, the only calculator that actually gets it right. And if this show has been helpful, please subscribe and leave us a review. It helps families just like yours find us.
To every family listening, you are doing something important by staying informed. Keep showing up for your people. We will be back tomorrow with more.